All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we recap some of the big stories on a Tuesday. And thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out, so get there early. Get some brisket chili. Also opening in Petaluma in 2026. Also thanks to Sleeper. And we'll also thank in a minute our good friends over at Plank Oakland. Check them out, plankoakland.com. All right, let's talk a little bit about the story of the day, or at least what I interpret as the story of the day. And it's actually a tweet, if you can believe it or not. How about this? We will share the screen and let you see this tweet. It was tweeted out by Kirk Cousins, NFL quarterback. And let's see what Kirk Cousins has to say here. Oh, there we go. So basically, it's Kirk Cousins saying, really enjoyed watching Rise of the 49ers on AMC. Compelling storytelling of a head coach, owner, and players who shaped so much of what pro football has become. Hashtag Rise of the Niners. Now, Kirk Cousins is a interesting guy. He might, maybe he just loves football. He has interest in football, and the Niners were a dynasty, and why wouldn't he want to check that out? But you know what? I'm not saying it was work to watch that, because it wasn't work. It was enjoyable. I lived it, right? I'm a Niner fan, so I lived it. But if you're not a 49er fan, or I don't know, if you're the kind of guy that has, like Kirk Cousins does, $300 million in the bank or whatever he's made in his career, you're a family guy and you play for the Falcons and you played for the Vikings before, you don't have any tie to the Niners, you're really going to watch a 4-hour documentary on the entire Niner story? That seems interesting to me. And that seems odd. Like, you would only do this if you felt like you might want to know this history. Like, you might do this if you're Kirk Cousins because you thought, hey, I'm going to get released in a few weeks and I'm going to sign with the 49ers to be Brock Purdy's backup. And I want to have a good feeling for the Niners and everything about them, so that when people ask me questions, I'm one of them. I'm in the Niner world, and I can watch this 4-part documentary and get up to speed. Anyway, it's just to me, it's really interesting. It could just be a football player who's interested in a football documentary, but let's be honest. The word coming out of Atlanta is the Falcons are getting ready to release Kirk Cousins. And then Kirk Cousins is going to be looking at a starting job that is not one of the coveted jobs around the league, or a backup job anywhere he so chooses. And now the 49ers have Mac Jones. And Mac Jones, most likely, the Niners have said, we're going to keep Mac Jones. But we all know they're not going to keep Mac Jones. Why? Because Mac Jones represents real quality assets coming back in return. If there's a team that needs Mac Jones, and we know there are about 10 of them that do, it wouldn't be that high of a price to say, hey, here's a player and a second-round pick. But for your starting quarterback, that's really a great deal. But for the 49ers, that could also be a really, really good deal too, because a second-round pick and a starting caliber. You trade Mac Jones to the Raiders for Michael Mayer in the second-round pick, you now have a starting caliber tight end and a second-round pick you might be able to turn into a starting caliber player. Alfred Collins was taken in round 2 by the 49ers last year. He started a lot and played a lot this year. So a second-round pick can be a huge asset. And, the 49ers could easily get that for Mac Jones. Well, then the other downside of moving Mac Jones is then you don't have that insurance policy on your season. And Shanahan and Lynch should be keenly aware of how valuable Mac Jones is, because Mac went 5-3 in 8 starts. What do you think Brandon Allen would have done? He probably would have gone 3-5 at best. He might have gone 0-8. The Niners most likely would not have made the playoffs. And there would be a lot more heat on the regime right now. So the backup quarterback is not just like, by the way, we'll just have anybody. No, there's a real value in having a good backup quarterback, especially if you have a starter that you like, but also there's injury concerns. And Brock Purdy, because of the injuries he's suffered, would be somewhat of an injury concern quarterback. And yet they love him. And now they've got a backup that they really like in Mac Jones, and he fits in really well. And he's a leader in the room. And him and Brock get along. And he's only costing, a real paltry sum against the cap. And it's like, yeah, let's keep him. But you have other needs. You need defensive linemen and offensive linemen. And most likely you're going to have to move Mac Jones. So then it's like, okay, can we move Mac Jones, get that great package of talent coming back, maybe a couple picks and a player. Maybe, maybe if you have 12 needs, this guy might be able to single-handedly fill 2 or 3 of them by himself. Okay. Then who's the backup quarterback? What happens if Brock goes down? Can you really lean on Curtis Rourke? Probably not. Can you really lean on Adrian Martinez? Probably not. I think they like those guys, but I don't think they want to lean on those guys. So then it's like, is there a reclamation project quarterback out there? Well, maybe Marcus Mariota, Zach Wilson, Anthony Richardson. There's not one that's perfect like a Jones or a Darnold. But, and then there's the draft. There's always somebody, you might be able to find somebody in the draft. But I really think that the 49ers are going to be their best option at number 2 quarterback is going to be Kirk Cousins. And I think Cousins' best option to keep playing football is the 49ers. Why? Well, because look at the options for Kirk Cousins. You can go be the starting quarterback of the New York Jets behind a really bad line and just get beat up and play on the worst, most treacherous turf in the league and almost assuredly get significantly injured. That's what you're looking at. You can go to the Raiders and, or the Cardinals or one of these teams and take a bunch of hits and struggle. Or you could take a few less dollars and go play for your buddy Kyle Shanahan and behind Brock Purdy. And let's be honest, at this point in Kirk Cousins' career, why do you think he plays? He's playing to win the ring. So it's like after watching Sam Darnold win a ring, he's probably like, hey, get me to San Francisco. Maybe Brock Purdy gets hurt. Maybe I'm standing right there. I can win a ring with Kyle Shanahan. I can get this done. Hey, Sam Darnold just won a ring. I can get a ring. So I think, when you have $330 million in your career earnings, you're not playing for the money. And it's not like he's got something to prove. He's not going to go play it in the Jets or the Cardinals. He's going to take less and play for the 49ers and back up Brock Purdy and play with Kyle Shanahan and maybe get a ring. Maybe get a ring. Maybe you get a ring as a backup and maybe you started 5 games that year. Maybe you get a ring and you're the guy standing there. But I think if you said to me, why is Kirk Cousins at 37 still playing? It's not for the money. It's because he's been playing to win that championship and he's never gotten it done. And he wants to get it done. So where does he have a best chance to win a ring? Probably San Francisco, playing behind Brock Purdy for Kyle Shanahan. That's probably where he gets his best chance to win a ring. And so I could see it happening. So there you go. I don't know. The fact that he's watching Rise of the 49ers, he probably knows, hey, you know what? A month from now, I'm going to be a 49er and I'm going to be asked a bunch of questions about the Niners, and I might as well know the history of the franchise. Otherwise, man, he's either just a football, absolute football head who watches everything, which is possible. Or, he loves the 49ers. I don't know. But I mean, if you weren't a Niner and you had $300 million in the bank and you weren't going to play for the Niners, and I said to you, go watch Rise of the 49ers, it's not like an easy watch. Like, I'll just devote an hour to it. It's 4 episodes that are over an hour each. You're investing over 4 hours of your time. You're probably only doing that if you see some value to yourself going forward. So there you go. Is Kirk Cousins going to be a Niner? I think he is. I really do. I think he's going to be a Niner. I think they're going to trade Mac Jones. I think they're going to wind up signing Kirk Cousins, and I think he is going to be a 49er. We should thank our good friends at Plank Oakland. Plank Oakland is really, really cool. Really cool spot. I love it. Plankoakland.com on the web. They've got an outdoor beer garden. They've got bowling, 12 lanes of bowling, bocce, 49 different beers on tap. It's kind of like an indoor outdoor facility down at Jack London Square. Check them out, plankoakland.com. It's a great place to watch the game. Great place to meet up with your friends from work for a beer. It's a great place to bring the family on the weekends and just, maybe bowl a few games. Maybe, there's some arcade games. The food's great. The beer garden's cool. Check it out, plankoakland.com. Plankoakland.com. Big fan of Plank Oakland. Check them out at Jack London Square. You'll love it. It's one of those places. If you go once, you'll go all the time. Plankoakland.com. Once again, check them out on the web at plankoakland.com. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.